And happy Christmahana Kwanzaa to you, or whatever the heck you like to do during this time of year. Hopefully it's fun and cozy. Flower and myself, personally, we keep it very traditional in our household. We celebrate the opening of the year with Wepit Renpit and the wonderful rebirth of our god Osiris. Well, today I'm going to focus on Destiny and go over some points of their recent uploads since Amberlynn has left YouTube, as we know.
Oh no, they're back.
Oh. Like now? Like soon?
Yeah, in February.
Ah. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, I just lost a lot of money.
You lost a lot of money, that's why I'm here.
Dang it. Anyways, you know about the U-Haul lesbians, where queer women rapidly enmesh themselves with a new person that they are dating and move in emotionally and physically as roommates. A super accelerated commitment type of relationship. But the lesser talked about feature of the U-Haul lesbian is the loads of emotional baggage usually latched in the U-Haul when you rush into a lease with a new person so quickly. Until you unpack that baggage, you're hindering your own long-term development, often at the cost of your ability to create a healthier relationship. A feature Destiny is just as guilty of doing as Amberlynn Reed. To prove my point, picture this series of events. Destiny breaks up with their current partner, they still live with this partner, and rather than moving out, they start dating someone else weeks after the breakup they initiated. Destiny starts investing their free time to be with their new partner, and spends as little time as possible in the shared home they have with their ex. Now, was I describing 2017 with Amberlynn Reed? Or 2025 with Lexus? It's almost identical to Amberlynn in the way they can't handle sitting alone with grief and just reflecting about why a relationship ended. Destiny is a more functional individual than Amberlynn. Not a very hard bar to clear, but I won't argue that Destiny can live independently, can drive, has a work history that has kept them gainfully employed. Amberlynn has really none of those qualities, and has very recently shown us that she is literally stuck with YouTube. But where they're identical is both their inability to cope with the breakup in any way that's healthy. To be fair, this was learned survival behavior on Amberlynn's part. Her weaponized incompetence was a sharpened skill set that worked far more often than not. Destiny cannot be alone and just needs external validation to the same degree almost. She's just a little bit more subtle about it. But in a recent video, Destiny has a startling hyper-focus on one singular thing.
Where do you find happiness now? With my girlfriend.
Not hobbies or growth or any other long-term goal like buying a house. That's super weird. Your knee-jerk reaction to where do you find happiness now is with a brand new person you met online probably. Destiny is 30 now, not a naive 19-year-old. That's incredibly dysfunctional to have puppy love override actual sustainable plans. Destiny paints their 2015 speedrun with Amberlynn a little differently now, I've noticed. What we know is Destiny had someone they were talking to.
That girl, I was with her from I was 17 till 19. So, yeah. I was ready. I was working. I was ready to find our own place, moving together. I was ready to move on to the next step.
In 2015, Destiny did break up with their long-term significant other, right around the same time Crystal dumped Amberlynn.
We met on I don't know if you'd call it a dating app. I don't think it was a dating app. I think it was just like a chat app. But that was March of 2015. I was actually in a relationship at the time, but I break up with her sometime the end of April, beginning of May. So then after that, I start to pursue a relationship with Amberlynn.
And my theory is Destiny had a clear, I'm going to move out, I'm going to move my girlfriend in, we're going to play house, and we're going to have a good time together. But that clearly didn't work out, and I think they already wanted that plan, and Amberlynn just was the first person they found online that would move in so quickly with them. It kind of reeks of a desperation on both sides, both wanting a relationship, one very much wanting to move out of their parents' house, and one being stuck having to move out of a parent's house. This is just my speculation, we don't know anything else, and also Destiny was 17, 18, 19 around this time period, so I really can't judge a teenager for making stupid decisions. Amberlynn I always can, but Destiny she gets a little bit of a break in this time period. This wasn't some pharaoh's curse, You actively went online, you actively sought out the next tiggle-bittied haver you could find, and then you pursued a relationship with this individual hundreds of miles away. It's an intentional pattern they have no real awareness of.
It happens.
As infamous as the Destiny era was, it only really lasted 1 year and 7 months in the entire relationship from start to end. In that time period, Amberlynn moved to Florida, then Kentucky with Destiny's mom, to not great results.
Whoa. Here I come. Here I come.
Then into another apartment together fall of 2016. Which, as we know, she dumps Amberlynn in January of 2017 for Dana.
She called me. We were going off on each other, just screaming back and forth. And I was just tired of arguing with her and her trying to be so controlling. And I literally broke up with her and then I hung up. Because we broke up 13 days into January. So, I have admitted to emotionally cheating on Amberlynn. And it was I didn't have full on feelings for Dana. And I don't know, I just wanted to know her more. We just clicked really well. So after we admitted to having some kind of feelings towards each other, we just started talking. And we went on our first date on the 27th of January. We had planned on hanging out Saturday night, but I was like, hey, would you want to go to the truck stop with me and just get some food and talk and stuff Friday night? So we did that, and we were at the truck stop till
I'm really trying not to be a hater for things they do in their free time and their interests that they enjoy, but I don't know what level of charisma you would need to convince me to go on a date at a truck stop, because what the heck are you doing? Just watching lot lizards? I believe Destiny when she said she only emotionally cheated on Amberlynn near the end, but the thing is, why the hell did you move into a new apartment and a new lease with someone you were already on the verge of breaking up with? If you were contemplating ending it 90 days later, you could have just lived with your mom a bit longer and kicked Amberlynn out to fend for themselves. This was incredibly short-sighted on Destiny's part. I think they just enjoy ping-ponging around mid-tier apartments and homes over just being single. No one likes being single living in your parents' basement for a little bit, but that's clearly better than the alternative. Sure. She started dating Dana weeks after the breakup. She'd rarely stop by the apartment and would only do so after Amberlynn nagged them endlessly. Which spurred Amberlynn to find a partner. They went fishing online and they snagged Bex. Amberlynn descended very quickly upon several unsuspecting Kentuckians like a plague, and Destiny moved in with Dana. Dana, to my knowledge, was with Destiny the longest. And of course they got engaged, because that's what you do if Destiny makes eye contact with you for more than 2 seconds. But it ended when Dana cheated on Destiny. They both lost a parent during the pandemic and were under immense stress in their personal lives. So breaking off their engagement amidst this chaos is unfortunate, but understandable. Better to break up when you see you're unable to compromise than to get married anyways, right? October 2024, Destiny married Lexus. December 2025, Destiny comes back online stating they are separated, and apparently problems were occurring as early as the reception, their wedding reception, from a year ago.
We started having issues after our wedding reception and things felt very one-sided. I was still putting in all the effort that I knew how to put in on my, in my part. I was doing what I could do. I was just not getting what I was putting in return.
That's rough, buddy.
Disclaimer, I'm not kicking them when they're down. Marriage and partnerships end all the time. I'm not shaming Destiny for being divorced or separated. Divorce, breakups, and long-term relationships ending do not make someone unworthy of love, a failure, or dysfunctional. What I am picking at is their pattern of behavior. Moving immediately from one relationship to the next without meaningful time alone to reflect, reset, or reassess. Unlike the great beautiful life cycle of Osiris, this one just keeps compounding on itself every time it occurs. That's the thing too, these relationships end for overall pretty common reasons. Lexus wasn't meeting Destiny's expectation as a partner. Destiny felt they weren't putting in effort towards the relationship at all.
And just putting up with the one-sided, and just not getting anything in kind of thing. I said, stuff needs to change. You need to work on yourself, to help better us so we can move forward in our relationship, all these things. And it just didn't happen.
Dana and Destiny were drifting apart amidst the emotional turmoil, and unfortunately, Dana decided to cheat on Destiny, which is never very cool.
I can't say I was being the best person at this point in my life because I had just lost my mom, and coping and grieving really does change you as a person, and I realize that a lot more now after everything ended between her and I, like really ended. But she started yelling at me, basically that she didn't love me anymore, and that she hadn't for a little while, and that she was cheating on me.
Which resulted in a breakup. And Amberlynn is an absolute nightmare person. So, yeah, I'd also want to leave. When Lexus didn't pan out, they just got a new girlfriend. That's incredibly fast and super dysfunctional to commit so early after your last committed ended at this age. Not a hookup or a rebound, parking yourself into someone else's life entirely. She doesn't need a roommate, she needs time to be alone and reflect on why rushing a marriage ended the way it did. But nah, my girlfriend is shiny and new and I'm going to focus on that. That's the only thing that is new. No talks on how being single could lead to different opportunities in life, their job, possible education. Nope, no 5-year plan, no 5-month plan. I bet she doesn't even have a week plan. You haven't been with someone for 5 years ever at this trajectory of swinging to new person the second the last person fails expectations. They haven't lived in the same state for 5 years straight. I can't even be sure they've had the same job or career for 5 years straight. But let's put all our confidence on this online stranger that lives miles away. And yeah, let's just assume that's going to stick around for 5 years. Highly unlikely. It's not cute. It's not being a hopeless romantic. It's just as weird and bizarre as Amberlynn. Destiny just has the advantage of being mobile and driving. They both have these horrific blinders for red flags and planning literally anything for the future outside of honeymoon tunnel vision.
Lost some weight, which I posted about.
Well, at least they're being active though. Destiny claimed 250 pounds was their heaviest weight.
You look bigger each time you come back. You.
They're down to the 210s, which is great, truly. I'm glad they are prioritizing eating better and going to the gym for their health.
I was going to the gym like 3 times a week, or 2 times a week is how I started, and then I started going 3 times a week. I was going. Goal-wise, I would like to be under 200 is like the only goal I'm setting for myself. Like just trying to keep things simple.
But I have always given a side eye whenever Destiny would rag on Amberlynn's weight and, smell and other stuff.
My sister was like, "You really couldn't smell that?" And I was like, "I mean, no. She was like, it just smells like ass."
Like, dude, you chose to date them. That says way more about you than them after a certain point. Not trying to shame her for being obese. Her life, her choices. Just pointing out their own critique of obese individuals is just like a little bit hypocritical. Like, Destiny, you're a very large woman as well. Not 500 pounds, but let's not treat that like a hard metric to avoid. I'm not an am baby. I just think it's a little audacious to hear the obese pot call the obese kettle fat, Destiny vapes from a car muffler too, which probably isn't the best for them. Destiny, like Amberlynn, doesn't heal after a breakup. They like a distraction. They want to replace that feeling of security you receive with the partner as soon as possible. It's okay to feel that way. You won't perish. It's fine. Rather than rebuild themselves as a singular person and identity, they latch onto someone else. When you don't know who you are, you're more likely to make decisions without your best interest in mind. So here's what I recommend if for some reason the next 5 years don't work out.
Yeah, so here's what I recommend if for some reason over the next, let's say 1 to 5 years don't work out for you. Item number 1, focus on you. Focus on just yourself. Do you got things about yourself you want to improve on? Do you want to go back to school? Do you want to get an associate's degree in something? Do you want to learn how to cross-country ski? That all sounds great. Learn hobbies. Learn things about yourself that you've been wanting to do. Item number 2, think about the things that didn't work out the last time. I don't know. I would say personally for myself, I realized I was a bit of a party pooper. That's not fun. Nobody likes party poopers. So I worked on that. And guess what? Life's a lot more fun now, because I'm not a party pooper all the time. Focus on things that, when you were in your last relationship or last couple of relationships, if there was the same thing that kept popping up, maybe fix that. Maybe try. Item number 3, be alone. Alone does not mean lonely. It just means alone. Independent, by yourself. You could have roommates and still be alone, but you need to be okay with yourself. by yourself, your own best friend, your own person that you get to just hang out with, versus constantly searching for someone that makes you not feel lonely. You can be alone and not be lonely. You have friends that are off in different places. But going from one relationship immediately into another because you feel lonely doesn't let you know who you are by yourself. And finally, don't take any emotional shortcuts. Go through heartbreak. Heartbreak sucks, but going immediately into another long-term relationship, that's not good. You know, they say grief takes many forms and you go through grief differently depending on the person. But going into another serious relationship, that is incorrect. Don't do that. That's wrong. Heartbreak of any kind is awful. It sucks. But you do have to go through it. But also, once you're finding yourself in a point where you could maybe go into another romantic relationship, calm the down. Okay? Use some timeline barriers. If you're at 2 months, are you happy being in a relationship with one person? Great. That's it. That's the entire milestone, is that 2 months. Great, I have a girlfriend. 6 months. Wow, this is going really well. You know, maybe we should start thinking about if we want to move in together. Thinking about. That's it. Thinking about. And if you're coming up on 8 months to a year, and maybe one of your all's leases is going up, and you're like, no, this is still great, then maybe start thinking about living together. But you've already gone through steps 1 through 3 before you even got to the conversation about meeting someone, and then you let another 8 months pass before you even started thinking about moving in with them. Because you need to be by yourself.
Being single sucks when you don't want to be single, but having confidence in yourself, feeling secure with yourself, your decisions, and having a much clearer vision of what you would like to do in the future kind of sets you up for better success when you do find a partner. You can find if their goals align with yours long term, see what your plans together look like in the future. When you have a clear vision and goal, it'll be much easier to find people that want to reach that goal with you. But she doesn't. We're just watching the same emotional baggage getting moved around and around over and over and over again. It's getting dull, and it's kind of sad, since this is the only state we've really seen them in. It's just so identical to Amberlynn, and she doesn't see that, and I just think it's really weird, you know? Anyways, thanks for sticking around. Single or not, I hope you have a good confidence in yourself, and you love yourself, love your friends, and love your family. Have a safe holiday season, and we'll see you in the next year. I got more weight analysis coming up, a bunch of other silly stuff in the works, so subscribe so you don't avoid that. And have a very happy and safe Wepit Renpit from our family to yours.